Okay, we have to talk about Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi, even if it's one of the most heartbreaking books that I've read ever and definitely recently. So, I'd actually seen this book kind of around in book groups and on BookTube for a while, but I actually read Transcendent Kingdom first, which was absolutely breathtaking. It is a transcendent book, but actually in Transcendent Kingdom, there's not that much like action that happens. It's very much central to the characters, the mother-daughter relationship in the book. Whereas this book follows one family, but each chapter is just one character. So they're connected to the one before and the one before that, but there's no kind of ongoing character arc all the way through, other than the fact that they are all descended from the same mother. And it's one of those books where there's a family tree at the beginning, which is amazing. So let's get into it. This book tells the story of the US, essentially, I would say, and of what is happening and has been happening in Ghana. So it's historical fiction that I would say actually, clearly the family are fictionalized, but all of the actual events that happen in this book really happened. And it starts off in a village in Ghana, and it follows one of the family members there who then marries a white slaver. And then it splits into her half sister. And it took me a while to work this out. Maybe you might get it faster if you've read the book and we're a bit more on it than me. A half sister who then is enslaved and kidnapped and shipped off to the US. And then basically the family divides into family that stayed in Ghana and everything that is happening there, and family that is at the US and everything that has happened there. And I would say it starts from around the 1800s, and it is just grueling. And I finished this book and I just bawled. I bawled and bawled and bawled and cried my eyes out. And as you rightly should, because horrific things happen to people. And just like how to even wrap your head around the treatment of people and how the white colonizers could behave like that ongoingly for so long. And I wouldn't say necessarily I learned anything new about that from this book, but it gives everybody a voice, the voice that they were lacking and was stolen from them at the time. And I think that is what makes it so powerful. I think if you were a Black American, particularly maybe a female American, this book is going to be really, really hard to read, because you were probably sitting there wondering if it's your ancestors. And I think that is what is so heartbreaking, is that this brutality and cruelty that happened is not really that far removed from modern day. I think one of the really interesting things that I learned in slightly more modern day history was about the mining and the coal mines. There's a whole section where a character is there, and I didn't know about the use of convicts in the mines that, again, were barely convicts. Some of them, they were just simply picked on for the color of their skin and imprisoned, and then another way kind of ongoing slave labor. And that story, and then it moves to Harlem as well, and there's a chapter all about addiction and heroin, and it just spans all of these ideas. You've obviously got the civil rights. You've obviously got the civil rights movement wrapped up in it, although it's just referred to in moments like the marches. And it's just very family centered in people trying to provide better for the next generation, the trauma, some of the parents that were murdered before they even got there. Oh, it's just all of it. It's so well written, as you would expect from Yaa Gyasi. And I'm just absolutely in awe. It actually makes me want to cry whenever I see the front cover of this book. And I think that is truly the nature of a powerful story if you are able to do that. I really think everybody, probably around the world, should read this book because it talks about one of the biggest brutal travesties of more modern history and the ongoing ramifications of that. I don't want to say too much about the ending. The ending was just, it was everything. The ending was everything. Go read it. Let me know what you think.